Lakeside Dental Clinic, Go Island, is brought to you by Lakeside Dental Clinic.
The Christmas season here at the Nanaimo Museum kicks off today, runs through until January the 5th, and we're giving you a little sneak peek today on Go. Allison Crow comes home for the holidays, a talent for tattoos and illustration in Mill Bay, and a young girl publishes for pets. I think it's safe to say that the Nanaimo Museum has a tradition at Christmas time, and it's looking back at the 1950s and the types of toys that some of us, were enjoying as children. And I think it's also safe to say that tidings in Nanaimo is also a tradition for this community and Allison Crow. Her concert takes place at the Port Theatre on December the 6th, and she's having a community sing-along at Heritage Muse in the Old City Quarter on December the 4th. And today I had a chance to catch up with Allison because, well, I'm a huge fan, to put it bluntly. Allison and I thought we were going to do some window shopping, but we didn't end up much past Lobelia's Lair. She's pretty excited about her hand henna. She hits the Port Theatre for tidings on December the 6th. You can get tickets through the ticket center there, 250-754-8550. And then she does her community sing-along, a big fundraiser for Haven Society in the Old City Quarter on December the 4th, and that's hosted from Real Foods Fast. She'll hand out song sheets to everybody. She'll have her keyboard set up and bring some Christmas spirit and holiday cheer to the Old City Quarter. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. Rick Slingerland is with the museum.
Yep.
And I'm gathering quite an expert on the 1950s, because the exhibit that's here right now isn't just about toys, it's about the era. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're taking you back in time.
Okay, back to a time that I've never been, but you have.
The era of the 1950s started in 47 and went right through to 63, but we're talking about 1950s.
Okay.
The decade.
And how do you summarize that decade? Is it possible to? What was happening in the general population?
Massive advances in both the social life of people and development, just home, things for the home.
Okay, now the war was ending.
The war ended.
And people were looking for some enjoyment, some relaxation to bring sort of happiness after some pretty hard times.
They're sort of looking to cut loose a bit, but they also wanted to move out of the cities, because the cities were starting to get crowded with all the troops and not coming home. So the subdivision basically grew up in the early 50s.
Okay.
And people were moving out of the city. So road development and vehicle development and stuff like that all started working its way around that.
And by looking at some of the exhibit items that you have here, it seems like entertainment became more accessible to the mainstream and more a part of everyday life.
Yes,
Is that?
Entertainment really did, because one of the first things that came on stream was television sets. They started becoming available to the public. Mm-hmm. And they were black and white.
And they only had one or two
channels. They had the test pattern in the morning. You turned it on, there's this test pattern there. We never knew what that was for, but it was always there. And of course it went off at night, maybe about 11 o'clock. There was no late shows, and it again threw back to the test pattern.
Right.
But from there it developed the transistor radio, and that came in 53, the really pocket small one.
Yeah.
And that made it possible for teenagers to be able to take music with them.
Right.
Okay, so with the development of the transistor radio, it basically killed the jukeboxes. And the development of vinyl made records available, and ones that wouldn't break anytime you dropped them or took them somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that was sort of the beginning of the disposable era? Before the 1950s, everything was meant to last?
No, I don't think the disposable era came in until, oh gosh, 70s, 80s.
Okay. And we're at the peak of it now?
Well, no, I don't know if we're at the peak of it. We're still on the upward climb.
Mm-hmm.
But another thing that was developed back in the 50s was the stereo. There wasn't stereo. There was, they invented 3D in the movies, movie theaters. And
seemed like
yeah,
it was
a lot of things like that.
Pretty good time.
Yeah,
to be a kid or a teenager or a young adult.
Well, it was too. To be a child in those days meant you walked to school. Nobody drove you to school. You didn't have cell phones. You didn't have computers. You went out and you played with your friends.
Right.
You went out and got in the dirt.
Yeah, I've
You
seen
didn't-
something
You didn't
posted.
have hand cleaners everywhere, and
Yeah.
you know all that stuff that really, you got to wonder whether it's necessary.
Well, I see a post on Facebook sometimes, and it says, "This is how we knew where our friends were back in the day," and it's just a whole bunch of bikes
My
parked
mother
outside
always knew
somebody's
where
house.
we were.
How'd she know?
The grapevine.
The eyes on the
Over
back of
the
your head
fence.
thing that
Over the
parents have,
fence.
right? So if
Yeah.
you're a kid in the 1950s, what kind of toys are you playing with?
As a boy, I grew up. I grew up with a hockey game. You know, this type of hockey game here. Well, not that type, but it had the slots in it.
Right.
My friend and I would play on that for hours. But you have to remember, that's for two people, so you're always interacting with another person.
Right. Not isolated on the digital devices like
No.
kids are today.
You invented your own games.
Yeah. It sounds
You
like you
went
miss
outside
it.
and played.
You sound like you missed this era. And I know we're going
Well, I
longer than
still-
we're supposed to
I
in
still
this
played.
interview, but yeah.
I still played, but yeah.
And now the items here in this exhibit, and we're going to have to wrap it up, are donated from members of the community. This is what
They
people
certainly
really
are, yeah.
had in
Well,
their homes.
The toys are. A lot of the furniture, which you'll see is authentic 1950s, was donated by the Space Age Bachelor Pad down
Okay.
down the Chinese Steps.
Well, while you're over there, what's with the boat? What's with the ship? It wasn't in our plan
that's a
at
collection.
all.
That's a collection of one of our donors who collected cast metal ships in
Okay.
a very small scale, and that was brought out in the 50s too.
I'm going to cut you off. He's got a sheet of little things that came out of the 50s. Do you know where the term sock came from? We don't have time to get to it. You're going to have to check out the exhibit yourself. Poodle skirts. All these kind of things will be up on the wall here. I'll move back towards the light. 1950s Christmas runs at the museum until January the 5th. You can enter by donation. We're going to talk to Deb about how you can do that later. It's time now for a short break. Still to come today, Dragon Ink in Mill Bay, rapid fire with the Nanaimo Clippers, and a youthful publication to benefit Qualicum Cat Rescue.
Hello, it's Chris Kringle here. Did you know the real meaning of Christmas? Well, it's all about L-O-V-E, and you learn that word. And I'll see you at Christmas time.
Thanks for watching Go Island. It is officially the holiday season now, and I'm wondering, out of the episodes that we have left for the rest of 2014, how many of them will have Christmas trees in the background? If you're keeping track, send us a tweet or something, and we'll just turn it into a little bit of a game. We're going to head down to Mill Bay now. James Green is introducing us to a young entrepreneur who, well, all I can say is that her work is quite stunning. Jamie Fransman is with the Nanaimo Museum, and you're in charge of Christmas programming for kids, is that correct? So what have you got lined up this year?
Well, we've got about 600 school kids that come through the museum in the month of December.
600?
Yeah, right about there.
600.
So pretty much
That's a
all the
lot of
grade
kids.
1s, grade 2s, and grade 3s come through for our Yesteryear Christmas program. They do all sorts of activities, they hear stories, learn about what Christmas was like 100 years ago. Wow. So it's a lot of fun for the kids.
What was Christmas like 100 years ago?
There's a lot less presents.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
Yeah, everything was handmade, so
Yeah.
makes it a lot different. So we also have a public event happening on December 13th from 12 o'clock, to 3 o'clock, and it's called Under the Christmas Tree. It's our annual family Christmas event.
Okay.
We have a professional storyteller coming in from 12:30 to 1:15 to tell some Christmas stories to the kids. The kids will get a chance to make some handmade ornaments and do a few other activities and play with toys from 100 years ago as well.
Wow,
So.
it sounds great. It's just warm fuzzies all over, and you get to see the light in
Yeah,
their
exactly.
eyes
It's a
and
lot
the
of
joy
fun,
as they
so.
experience these new things.
Yeah.
Great job. Okay, that's December 13th, Under the Christmas Tree, an annual family event here at the Nanaimo Museum. I bet there's a lot of expectations from these guys for Christmas. It's rapid fire with the Nanaimo Clippers. We're experiencing Christmas at the Nanaimo Museum, and now that you've seen a little bit, not too much, because we want you to come down in person, about the 1950s Christmas toy walk back in time, there are some other benefits besides pure enjoyment by visiting the museum this Christmas season. And Deb, they are.
You can shop at the museum.
It's very, very hard not
it's
to.
hard
I'm
not
a
to shop at
crow
the
every
museum.
time I come into this gift shop.
It's special this December. We always do admission by donation in December and donate it to a different cause every year. This year it's the Great Nanaimo Toy Drive. So cash or a toy gets you into the museum in December. We're open Sunday afternoons.
And that's not
Noon
usual
to
the
4,
rest of
not
the year?
usual, open
Okay.
Sunday, yeah. So Sunday afternoons is good. So we're open every day in December.
Excellent.
Until Christmas, until the 24th.
Now, we kind of sped over the shopping in the gift shop here, and we're not really joking. I mean, I'm going to
No,
pick
we
up a
aren't.
couple of gifts before I leave today, and the bonus in that is that all the proceeds go right back.
Goes back into museum programming. This is our fundraiser. The
All
gift
year
shop
round.
is our fundraiser all year long. Goes back into programming, into exhibits, into putting in the exhibits that you're seeing today, all those kinds
Excellent.
of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. And Deb came in today on your day off.
I was
Thank you
shopping.
for that. Oh, shopping, yeah, here, right? If you'd like more details on how you can enter the museum by donation, where your toy donation goes to, it is the Great Nanaimo Toy Drive. You can visit the museum online. The toy drive itself also has a website, NanaimoToyDrive.com. We're going to throw things over now to Kelly Robinson. She's introducing us to a little girl who puts her heart and soul into publishing a little newsletter every week or month, and it's all for a good cause too. Here's Kelly. Brings us to the end of this edition of Go Island. If you'd like to take a walk down a memory lane through the 1950s with a special focus on Christmas, you can visit the Nanaimo Museum until January the 5th. Before we sign off for today, the Timmy's Christmas Telethon takes place on Global BC and Shaw TV stations across the province on Sunday, December the 7th, 6 hours of high caliber entertainment that runs from 4 until 10, all to benefit the BC Lions Easter Seals services. Thanks for watching this edition of Go Island. Be sure to check out the telethon December the 7th, and we'll see you next time.
Lakeside Dental Clinic Go Island is brought to you by Lakeside Dental Clinic, a division of the Vancouver Island Implant Center, delivering dental services, including dental implants and sedation dentistry, all under one roof. Clothing supplied by Catwalk Fashions. Kate's Hair and Aesthetics provided by Maffeo Salon.